All right, this is the part that I'm worried about. I ain't got no sliders. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Talon and I make new videos every single week. So if you like what you see, consider clicking subscribe. This is the very start of my extensive travels over the next couple of weeks, and I am currently at the TRU Automotive Family Camp Out here. They put together this super rad event out here for the community, any customers, basically anyone's welcome. Doesn't matter what you drive, just a community building thing to cook food, camp together, and it's been a great time. We actually rolled into this spot last night and it was a pretty interesting one. If you saw the announcement over on Instagram that my buddy Austin posted, he said we're gonna meet up at the bottom of Metberry Gulch, and there's a bunch of gulches in this area. This is an out and back trail, and it's a trail that I have never been on before. So I did a little bit of scouting on Awning to kind of get an idea of what vehicle I should bring, what I'm getting myself into, and checked out the trail reports. Everything looked good. I noticed that there were 2 obstacles, so I actually marked those along the way, and we made our way in last night. I planned on filming some of it, but this is about all that I got so far. We were coming down an obstacle here known as Chicken Scratch or Chicken Scratch Hill. It's just a big conglomerate rock in the side of the mountain, and you kind of have to slide down it. It's very steep. The long wheelbase of the Tundra made it a little bit difficult. I was like a centimeter away from bashing my rear rocker, but we made it down here, and I actually want to show you guys more of this trail on our way out tomorrow morning. But we're here now, we're camping out. And if you guys want to plan your future routes in the trails that you're going to, then consider downloading Awning Off-Road. You can use my code, save 20% on a subscription. And I've got a full-blown like Awning video series coming soon. So I can help you guys kind of learn the process and figure out how to make your adventures just a little bit better. Now, I'm not even sure how many trucks are here right now, but there's quite a few. Super clean 470. Love the color of that thing. We got the whole 470 GX crew over here. LX 450, Jeeps are welcome. Everything's welcome here. A little second gen action. There are a lot of Toyotas, obviously. Jake's truck, looking proper. And then I, of course, brought my Tundra. The setup has changed quite a lot since I showed you guys last, and I'm getting this thing ready for that big Awning trip. We're gonna go over everything that's going on here in a little bit. Let's go check out the party down here. There's a lot of music playing, some drinks, some food, a lot of good hangs, and the weather is beautiful. Alright guys, it is about 6:30 now. We've been hanging out all day and we might be getting some weather here momentarily. It's really dark on the other side of this valley and the wind's picking up, so I wanted to make some dinner and show you guys some of the newest additions to the Tundra setup before it gets too gnarly. Hopefully it doesn't get gnarly at all, but I'm not in charge of the weather. Gonna make some spicy sausage and some rice with that. I've basically been loading out the Tundra a little bit better than it was before, and I packed this thing with a ton of gear because Jake, who's parked right over here, hi, I should give you a mic. Hey. Him and I are going to be doing that Onyx off-road route that I've been talking about. So I've been loading the truck up with a ton of gear, and I brought like way more than I actually need for this time, but I wanted to make sure it worked this weekend before I'm gone for 3 weeks, come back, and then immediately get in the Tundra and do it all over again. So this is kind of like shakedown trip of all the gear in my Vertex stackables. That's why I was holding this. I have cleaning stuff for dish soap, I've got utensils, and then I got more like paper towels and things like that. I've talked about these in videos before, but I don't know if I've like shown them up close. They have a bunch of different sizes and they kind of like link into each other, so I can have everything in one nice package like that. So if you guys haven't checked them out, of course there's always a discount code, I'll leave that in the description down below. I've also been carrying around all of my camera gear in the long walks pack. I got a video of this on the channel, so I'll leave a link for that up in the corner if you're interested in some bag reviews that maybe you haven't caught before. I guess we can start right over here. That's Jake. We can start over here with the cooking setup. So previously I never really traveled with a table, but I've had this little Dometic table in my garage for a long time, and it's nice because since I'm getting in and out of my truck on the tailgate all the time, I don't really want to cook on the tailgate. So I've got a Jetboil Genesis right here, packs up in a bag. It's got a pan. I'm actually not even going to use the pan. It also comes with a pot and a lid, and both of those dual burners fed off of a 1-pound propane tank. They fit inside of here. It's got a windscreen too. Now, in addition to this setup that might be even a little bit better than this because of like uneven ground and stuff, these legs change in height, so I got it sturdy enough. But one of those tire tables, people mentioned that in my last video on this when I was just hanging my diesel heater along the side. If I did get one of those, I would just want to find a place to keep it secure in here. This one I just folded flat and just kind of threw it on the carpet in there, which works, but I want to have things like tidy because when we're off-roading, like the trail we came on the way in here, stuff definitely has the opportunity to bounce around. So that's my cooking setup for now. Bare bones, but it works, and it's dual burner. Now, let's take a step back even a little bit further, actually. This is one of the things that I am most stoked on, but I finally was able to put a 270 awning on one of my vehicles. You've never seen me have an awning on any of my trucks because typically when I'm running a rooftop tent, I like to run it below the cab. With this setup, there's pros and cons to it, obviously. If you haven't seen the anti-shanty dwell shell, there's a full playlist on the channel, you can check it out. But because of that, I decided to put roof boxes up here. I got tools in here, I got recovery gear, and I also have a ARB twin compressor because no one makes a compressor mount for this. So I've got a portable air up kit in there, which is nice, and both of those boxes are full now, so everything is like fully packed. Since this is taller, I can finally run a full-length awning. On my Tacoma, if I put it on the side of the tent, it would get in the way of the rear doors. It just needs to be above the cab, and since this is 6.5 feet long, it not only would clear the door, but it's well up above it. So this is a 270 awning from Rome, who also makes my storage boxes on the roof. I also have one of their boxes inside the bed, and you guys have seen them a ton in my videos, but this thing is so sick. Huge coverage all around this thing, and it has legs that fold up inside of here. This entire thing can actually be freestanding. We don't actually need to put these down, but since I was going to leave it up for a while, I decided to do that. I can stake those down if it does get windy. I added some of these cargo nets up here. I have strip lights that I can also turn on that run on their own battery packs, or you can turn them on and just use them as a lantern inside of the bag. So since I have Kingpin lighting on the camper, I decided I would just use those as lanterns for now. Quick sausage check. Just getting this browned up. So you can kind of see how much coverage this thing gives me here. I really like it because obviously it comes all the way around to the side of the truck. That's why I went with the 270 as opposed to a 180. Covers the tailgate as well, and it will do okay in rain, but I'm not sure about wind, and it looks like it could be windy. I'll actually show you guys when I do pack this up, but you simply pull it around. I have it strapped to my wheel right now. Simply pull that off, walk it around once the legs are folded up, and it tucks away in the side. Nice and neat, tucked up out of the way. If you need a 270 awning, definitely check out what Rome has to offer. And then if we come up inside of the dwell shell up here, I got all of my red lights on right now. I added a few things. First, up here, the Dometic fan. I knew I was going to be trying to get a good night's sleep in here, so I added some vent covers. I actually pulled the cover off of this, and now, a little hard to do one-handed, but that just magnets into place right like that, and now it's complete blackout. Also, on these Arctic Turn windows here, I added some bug screens that are also magnet into place. I believe Anti-Shanty is still working on bug screens for this whole entire opening here, but it's not super buggy here in Colorado right now, and I figured it would be good to have a little bit of bug protection, but most importantly, blackout shades. So I slept in today probably until like 9:30, almost 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was super dark in here. So at night I can just roll these down and it's nice and dark in here. Now coming to the back of the camper, I really haven't changed much back here. I have the Rome, I believe this is the 93-liter box with some blankets on it. So I have a little like bench seat back here. Headroom is a little tight, but gives me a comfortable place to sit as well as store things like my pillows. I have a secondary solar panel in here, which I was like moving around all day to follow the sun. And then my power bank, still the same, DJI Power 1000, and I have a single connection for solar here, but I also have an array where I can put 3 solar panels into here, I believe up to 600 watts. So of course I'm running the Starlink as well. We're at 68% battery. That was down to like 30 something this morning. Got the fridge going over here, Iceco APLC. Got some water, some fruit, macaroni salad, nothing real crazy in there. And then just molly bag over here. Got some toiletries in there, some extra blades in case I need them. Model Outdoors Infinity tools, which are essentially these little bungees right here. I may bring you guys some more info on these in a little bit, but this is an entire pack of like little bungee tie downs with all kinds of accessories. So a million different straps. If I need anything to be secure, this is what I'm going to be using from here on out because possibilities are pretty much endless. Over on this side, I've mounted up a shovel, an axe now to the molly panels. So will I ever use that stuff? Probably not. I've got my propane fire pits, but nice to have for now. Rinse kit, I believe that's like 3.5 gallons of water, and that is the setup in here. We'll dive into it a little bit more once I eat, and we're getting ready for sleep. We're getting there. We're getting there. And then last but not least, I've got both of my Howls with me. This one sits in the corner on the back passenger side up against the cab there. Strap that to about a 10-pound propane tank. Probably won't even use that tonight because we've got a big fire pit set up down there with the TRU guys. R4 in case it's really cold. And then I've actually packed 3 of these front runner flat pack chairs. Still my favorite chair just because of the size and packability of everything. And I keep my kitchen stuff, the Jetboil Genesis, and even a chair over here on the side. This is basically the Anti-Shanty cabinet for things that you don't need to access from the inside. I got a rain jacket here, and yeah, just a little bit more storage. Still dialing all of this in, but that is the current setup for now. I think in the future, the proper thing that I'm gonna end up doing is building out at least a little bit of storage on the inside of the bed there. I'm thinking like fridge where it's at, battery next to that. I may upgrade to even a larger battery before Jake and I go on that trip, and then a little bit storage in the back. I want to leave the driver's side a little bit open, that way I can still fit mountain bikes and things like that inside the actual camper shell. But at the same time, I don't want anything completely fixed because I'm going to want to change things up occasionally. So thinking like maybe buy some 80/20 and put something together myself, or maybe find a company who makes something that I could like adapt to work inside of there. I've got cool tie down points all throughout the bed of the truck, so I can make something secure so that my gear isn't like flying all over the place. But with all of my travel, I don't really have time to like source all of that stuff and build it myself right now. I'm actually heading down to Overland Expo in just a couple weeks, so maybe I'll find some cool options down there. If you guys want to see a video of like expo coverage, let me know, because I never really know if I should film all the stuff that we're doing down there. But yeah, let me know if you want to see an Overland Expo video in the comments down below. Well, while my dinner is finishing up over here, might as well put this away because the wind is picking up a little bit. I don't want to have to put this away at nighttime if I'm sleeping and it gets windy, so I'll show you guys how this 270 packs away. These legs have a little bit of a kind of like a twist lock to them, so you can twist them and then pull them all the way back up into place. So tuck that up into place, and I'm going to do that 2 more times. Now if I come to the other side of the truck and just let a little bit of tension off of that, I can pull it off of my wheel, and this is actually putting a little bit of pressure down on the rear hatch here. So I could put this down if I wanted to. Bring this all the way around. Oh, one feature that I forgot to mention, you'll notice the big bulge in the middle here. If it rains, there's a little prop on the inside that sticks up so water can run off of it. Do need to lower that, and now we can actually tuck it all away. There are 3 buckle straps on the inside of this cover that's attached to the mounting point. I like to make sure those are kind of out and accessible there. And start at the bottom, simply roll it up. Once you get it close, you can do each buckle. The pull strap you just simply tuck on the inside here, and then you can cinch them down. It's just a single big pull zipper on the outside here. You are going to have more material towards the front side of the awning because obviously everything folds up onto this side, but still fairly easy to zip closed. Pull the other one down, and that's it. It's the Rome 270 awning. Now, of course, as soon as I put that awning down, we're getting rain mixed with the wind. I'm just hoping this finishes cooking before that nasty storm rolls over here. It is not looking good. And dinner is served. Piping hot. Ooh, it's even hot on the bottom of the plate. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna go hang out down here until we start the fire, and I'll talk to you guys once I destroy all this. All right, we're calling it a night a little bit earlier than normal. Fire's still going, people are still having fun, but I've actually got quite a long drive tomorrow. I'm like a little over 2 hours from my house, and it's going to take us quite a while to like actually wheel out of here because this trail is not just like a regular Forest Service road that I would typically like to camp on, but Did a little bit of wheeling to get here, and we're gonna have to do a little bit more to get out. I luckily have the whole bed set up, ready to go already. I'm still using the Born Outdoor Badger bed, but soon, I think pretty soon, Auntie Shanty will hopefully have a mattress for this. That way, it'll just make my life a little bit easier with setting up and everything, a little less to pack. Let's get some white light in here. Oh yeah. Kingpin lighting. No diesel heater tonight. Last night it was probably in like the upper 30s. Tonight I think the low's only going to be like 41, so we're getting real close to the time when I can sleep with the doors open, maybe the bug screens, maybe even turn the fan on at some point. And I am stoked for proper like summer camping. We'll probably get some of that next week. I'm going to be going through Utah and then down to Arizona, obviously. So I just kind of like folded my bedroll up here and tucked it in. That way I could have this all open for the day, but see if I even have to pump this up anymore. Feels pretty good. Just in case it does get a little bit colder, I'm actually going to drop this last little hatch piece in. It does give me a little bit more space to kind of roll around, and keeps the heat in too, body heat. So there's the setup. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep, and tomorrow morning we will wheel our way out of here. Good morning, everyone. It is a little before 9 a.m. and I am rolling out of camp with both Jake and Wes in his 80 series. Since we're at the very end of this turnaround point, we're jumping straight into the wheeling section. Pretty steep. There are 2 obstacles and a lot of flexiness coming in here. So just gonna bring you guys along for the journey, see how the truck's gonna do. Currently in 4 low. I have not even aired down. On the way in, everyone decided that we weren't going to air down, so just gonna take it easy and not have to air up when we get out. Some really off-camber stuff here. I don't know if you guys can actually tell, but there's a lot of downed trees as well. This area had a bunch of wildfires years back. Oh my gosh. There is a huge tree right in the road. Am I even gonna be able to get around this? I heard about this tree from people coming in. They're like, yo, there is a legit tree in the middle of the road. And I'm very close to the other edge over here. But we're good. Yeah, a little bump with the Firestone MTs. We're good. Oh. Dude, that was tight for the Tundra. You should keep in mind that this truck has still basic factory suspension, just a preload collar up front and a taller spring in the rear for a little more weight, but mainly just to be taller and make things a little bit easier. Even with the Toyota TRD Bilstein suspension on here and the upper control arms and stuff, I feel like this truck has a decent amount of flex. There are some sections where my rear is flexing so much that it's actually stuffing into the top of my wheel well back there, and I'm getting a little bit of rub, but that's under some like pretty extreme kind of bank turns like I'm in right now. I'm curious how this truck would feel with like a proper suspension setup. Since it's over a year old now, maybe I will look into my options and do something like that, but feeling good for now. Now for the obstacle that you guys kind of saw me come down already, Chicken Scratch Hill. This one is going to be interesting because I don't want to hit the center of my body. Very easy to get kind of high centered here. I'm just going to have to hopefully have traction and go really slow the entire time. It doesn't look very intimidating going up it, but
it's nice and for low and slow.
There's a lot of rocks on it now. All right, here we go. My stock suspension articulation here. I'm not hitting in the center there, am I? This is pretty dang steep. All right, this is the part that I'm worried about. I ain't got no sliders.
Go this way.
Even more? I feel like I could touch the ground out of my window right there.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, it's easier than on the way down, I guess. I just don't want to wreck my truck. Leave me alone. So even with my tires, the Firestone Destination MT2s, up to 35 PSI right now, traction wasn't an issue. It's nice and slow, and 4 low. Dang, this is steep. See if I can get a pitch angle up on my screen here. Oh yeah, we're at like 30 degrees here. You probably can't tell on video, but just pointed directly into the sun. For a big truck, this thing just still walks over everything, which is pretty nice. We just gained like 1,000 feet in elevation in just maybe a mile or so from the camp spot. Gotta love Colorado. One thing I've been noticing too, with going a little bit quicker over a lot of these undulations in the trail, I've actually hit my brand new bump stops a few times, and the first time it happened, I wasn't even thinking about it. I forgot that I installed those Timberin active off-road bump stops. I filmed a video of it if you want to check it out. Really quick and easy install, but they feel really good. This is kind of like prime situation for actually testing and feeling those out, because there's just so much articulation out here. If you pick up speed and you're going a little too fast, you're gonna hit something where you will probably end up using your bump stop. So they're feeling really nice, way better than those tiny little factory things. And now we are about to get to the next obstacle that I have marked on the map here. Just a little V-notch.
Goddamn pretty.
I think this one's gonna be a little bit easier on the way up because I can see my bedside out of my driver's side window this time. Yeah, it is super pretty up here. At a crazy angle here. Are you spinning right there? Yeah, it looks like it. This is where you can like slide off and hit your bedside, but...
Is this the V?
Yeah. It's like barely an obstacle, but...
I didn't even think this was. Yeah, I'm gonna back up and try and ride this line right here.
Okay. Wes is like, man, these damn trucks without real suspension. You could ride this side too.
Yeah. Other way. Okay, now come. Yeah, hold your line right there.
Yeah.
Keep your tires right there.
That looks better.
Now start cutting passenger. Passenger. Harder, passenger. Stay away from that rock.
Woo, that is close. All right, my turn. This thing is a lot wider than their vehicles, but it's all good. All right, we're gonna lock my rear diff here.
There you go. Yep, coming. Once your rear climb. Yep. Start turning past this a little bit. Yep.
Definitely three-wheel.
Driver, Talon.
Driver?
Yep, driver. Driver, you're good, man.
My bedside ain't gonna slide into this?
Now, a little bit, yeah, now straighten a tiny bit.
That's like an easy obstacle, but I was like two-wheeling there for a second. This truck is large for stuff like that. So I think that was actually the first time where I needed to properly use my locker, and it worked flawlessly. Thanks, Toyota. Yeah, I don't have that kind of articulation, so I'm gonna take the easy line through this. My camera just fell off, hang on. Luckily it was an action camera, so it didn't get f***ed up. Well, that's it for now. Wes was the smart one here. He actually did some wheeling yesterday, but Aaron back up, trying. Jake's helping. Oh yeah.
Got it.
So that was probably the most like wheeling that you've seen with the Tundra so far, but there's gonna be a lot more this year. It's really hard for me to like film myself driving off-road, but do the best that I can. It's easier when you do have friends that can like hold a camera occasionally, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you're digging all the Tundra content. You guys asked to see this, which is why I bought the truck in the first place, and I'm loving the setup. I need to talk more about the tune eventually, because I had this thing tuned just before the trip by YodaWorks, and this thing is making a ton of power, like 600 pound-feet of torque to the wheels. So driving this thing is absolutely effortless, especially on the highway back home. I've got probably like an hour and a half until I'm back at home, and the thing's feeling great. We're gonna be getting back in this truck in just about 3 weeks, so stay tuned for that. But next up, Tacoma content. Diamondback cover, rooftop tent. We're going south into southern Utah, Arizona, and hopefully I will see some of you guys at Overland Expo. Huge thank you to TRU for putting this all together. This was a great weekend out, staying in one spot. Kind of starting to like that sort of travel, especially with a little wheeling mixed in. So if you need any work done to your vehicle and you're in the Denver area, look them up. And yeah, I guess that's all. So thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.